Epilogue. "Coming! Hold your damn horses! I'm waddling here," Casa huffed, a hand on her extended lower back as she turned the doorknob. There, on her front porch, stood a scruffy mystery man. Casa peered through her locked screen, squinting at him through the harsh Florida sun. At first glance, he looked to be in his early 20s, around her age, with shoulder-length, tousled, dirty blonde hair. The man didn't look precisely homeless, but not exactly employed either. Whatever his status, Casa was sure he was about to say something to piss her off, despite his handsome face. She had no patience or time for any door-to-door anything, seeing as how she was going to be popping a baby out any day now. He said nothing as she waited with her polite, canned response for sales pitches or Reggie missionaries, pulling nervously on the straps of his backpack. He smiled warmly, but could only muster an, so Casa decided to head him off at the pass and get back to her gliding recliner and potato chip ice cream sandwiches. Don't judge. "Yes? Can I help you?" she retorted. "Casa Sumatskuku?" "Yeah, that's moi. Why? Is this about an overdue bill, or some other shade of bad news? 'Cause, mister, this is the last—" No, sorry. I don't get out much. My name's John Harper. I'm an—" Before he even began uttering his title, Ucham, a sacred dirt power word, the air around the doorframe rippled in anticipation. Oot was the first syllable. The sounds resonated and churned with a reality-altering overtone as John spoke it, shifting the word from a noun to a verb. Instantly, Casa and Harper were enveloped in a pocket volume of probability distortions. Though he managed to stay put, Casa was off her feet, floating in the air as if she were dancing in water. And inside Casa, her baby was also caught in the effect, possibly magnifying the unborn child's native potential. The magical words stretched into the fourth dimension with their shared, dilated time bubble, echoing towards some unseen yet critical moment in Harper's future. Sensing this, he forced himself to return to the now, or risk causing unintended multiverse propagation. Trying to finish the pronunciation as quickly as possible, he rushed to the end as seconds became days. "Sham," John ended sharply. He halted his breath, forcing his mouth closed as the vibrations dissipated from his teeth and bones. But as soon as he stopped, the effect had never taken place, at least from Casa's perspective. She was still just standing there, flat-footed and squinting, and Harper was back, albeit after taking a more scenic route through Newtonia. The probability field had collapsed, or perhaps it had never even formed. It was always hard to say for sure. Embarrassed by the one-sided journey, he shyly continued his sentence. "From, up north?" he said, more asking than telling. That was typical behavior for a holy one. He was legit. "And Ucham! Oh, my goddess." "Sorry. Mommy-to-be manners," Casa said, with a pat on her stomach. "Hey, no worries. Damn it," Casa blurted out, making Harper freeze in place. "My house is such a disaster right now, but, well, at least I warned you, right?" Casa said, smiling as she forced the crappy screen door. "Come on in. This heat is insane," she said, grabbing him by his firm bicep and ushering him towards the cool air of the living room. Great. Now Casa was sweaty and confused, two of her least favorite states. Usually, colonists went to one of the Uchams, or outlier shamans. As with many dirt words, Ucham was a portmanteau, which evolved from out-shame into something that sounded cooler. Besides, the term shaman had been ridden so hard by the Reggies, the steel belts had shown through long ago. But this particular medicine keeper had tracked Casa down, and by her full name no less. Dirts traditionally sought Uchams out for healings, weddings, or more profound interactions with the Ten, and the pilgrimage typically involved a hairy hike through whatever gnarly countryside the Ucham was holed up in, which could be mountains, deserts, or wetlands like Florida. Even cities sometimes, though that was less common. The seeking out process was part of the offering, the price paid. That and the typical offering of 10 ingredients, sandwiches, and socks. Uchams were always in suspicious need of more socks for some unknown reason, which was doubly weird because they went barefoot a lot. And unless you found them in their dedicated retreat habitats, it was hard to distinguish them from any rando Reggie, or from someone that might be hard up or of questionable mental stability. If not for John stating his title with magical authority, he would never have gotten inside Casa's house while she was pregnant. No how, no way. But now, the holy man sitting across from her was sweating profusely. She had gotten a plate of snacks from the kitchen, but he smiled, raising a palm to say, "Thanks, but maybe later?" "Do not throw up on my best rug," Casa mentally begged him, as she sipped her ginger tea, trying not to stress the hell out. She had taken a sage dose of the 10 a few times, but her body responded best to lighter fare. Casa couldn't imagine being pickled in it regularly, like an Ucham, like this odd John Harper fellow. Watching her, he felt the stress and anxiety over his unusual visit adding to her impending motherhood jitters. John's tense fingers dug into her favorite overstuffed armchair as he spoke. "Casa, I have a gift for your baby girl." "How did you know?" "I haven't told anyone what her spirit was. I mean, I even asked the doctor not to tell me. But at my last visit, I was alone and started crying, so..." 10 worker, hello." The Ucham chuckled with a broad, sarcastic smile. "He's a smartass, but a cute smartass. Makes all the difference," Casa thought, smirking back and rubbing her belly. He reached for his backpack, unzipping the top. The only thing inside was a crinkly, silver and black speckled bio bag. Casa had seen them before on her favorite medical drama show, but those were usually stuffed with human organs. Why the heck was he toting one around? "Ice cream? You shouldn't have." "Any chance some salty jerky in there too?" she asked, only half joking. Harper chuckled, sounding like a grandfather watching a baby play with a puppy for the first time. "Huh, yeah, sorry, no munchies. But this is even better." "This," John said, pulling a frosted glass cylinder out of the incredibly noisy foil bag. The size and shape of a roll of paper towels, the device twinkled with embedded environmental stabilizers and glowing sensors. "This is her first familiar," he proclaimed, pointing a shaky finger at Casa's belly. Okay, a lot was going on right now. And because of her pregnancy, Casa had decided to go full term with only her native biology. That meant no dosing with any herbs. Well, save for a few sips of twig tea here and there. When no one was watching or judging her, the kid would just come out running, right? But that meant she had lost half her language, the 10's shape-shifting, psychic, high-resolution dialect. It was an unavoidable communication gap between a dosed practitioner and any native dirt or Reggie. And at times like this, it could really suck. "Did you almost say my baby's name? A name I haven't even thought of yet?" He looked the perfect combination of far away yet as focused as any human could physically be. Like a hawk looking directly at you, and that field mouse 1,000 feet behind you simultaneously. Unnerving, to say the least. Yes? I really can't say on ethical grounds. Also, on memory grounds. I just had a time skip. Sorry if that's awkward for you. What were we talking about again? He asked, a slightly rapturous confusion on his face. What a strange, sad existence, Casa thought, and in a hormonal burst of empathy wanted to hug him. That glowing Tupperware in your lap? Hey, are you sure you don't want a cookie or a cracker maybe? Just to, mop up your dose? I got some gingerbread here if... She offered again, eyebrows raised. Ah, yes, thank you. Now's good, John said, deciding on a piece of lemon cake topped with candied orange zest. Savoring each bite, he explained further. Right, so the incubator, well, in here there are 2 eggs. Raven eggs. Only one of them will hatch, but I haven't seen which one, so, he said matter-of-factly, placing the device on her coffee table as if it were a scented candle. Okay, Casa replied, her hands speeding up on her belly. Forget running, this kid was going to come out dizzy. But you realize I am very, very knocked up, right? I really don't have any spare time for bird watching, Casa said, slightly annoyed. Harper just sat there, silently listening. Look, her father asked for a divorce and bailed on us as soon as I told him. He was a Reggie, and we tried to work it out, but she was suddenly ashamed for no good reason. He was the one that abandoned you, Casa. Toughen the hell up, because your little R is going to need a self-reliant mama, she reminded her wounded self. A mixed marriage, very complicated, Harper said with detached compassion, now staring at Casa's swollen tummy and thinking, impossible if you ask me. Well, it takes care of itself until it hatches, he offered, changing the subject. The baby or the bird, Casa snarked, munching noisily on some baby carrots. Ha, you are witty. I miss that about householders, he said, looking a little forlorn suddenly as he drifted off for the length of a blink. But, yeah, the egg. Focus, John. Anyways, when it starts moving, hatching, I'll get an alert on my phone, and Casa choked a little on her iced tea. You okay? He asked, fighting the urge to come to her side. Yeah, went down the wrong pipe. But a phone? An Ucham with a phone? Casa asked, not knowing any medicine workers personally. Thank the mystery she holds no sway in my 10 space, he thought, smiling. Her use of the word Ucham was not an invocation or a declaration, and thus had no magical effect. One upset of Newtonia was enough for today, please and thank you. Well, there are Luddites among us, mostly Enclave-born. But I used to be a Reggie in another life, a programmer before my purpose found me. Plus, I get pretty lost without my GPS, he explained with a shrug. Wow, from Reggie to Ucham to mysterious bird deliverer? Casa said, smiling as she wiped a drop of tea from her perfect chin. Oh, this is not good, he thought stoically, taking in every nuance of her being. John felt time stretch and contract in waves as he and Casa became intimately entangled. Their individual future paths came together like 2 rushing mountain streams, now indistinguishable and joined forever. Well, I should go, Harper said, suddenly getting up with a puzzled yet happy expression. Thank you for the food and hospitality. Would it be all right if I came back from time to time to check on you, R, and the Raven? Can't spill the Raven's name either, huh? Ironic, don't you think? Casa asked rhetorically. Grunting, she attempted to push up out of the chair. John hurried over and offered 2 muscular forearms for her to grab a hold of. Ah, thanks, Casa said, smiling as they invaded each other's personal space, but in a good way. She walked him silently to the door with an odd, easy familiarity. Holding the screen open, she squinted at him one last time, but not just from the sun. She wanted to remember his face too for some strange looming reason. I'm required to be honest with you, Casa. To serve you, John said, getting formal suddenly. I know, she said, her eyebrows coming together. Duh. Serve and project. Every dirt knows that. Okay, why is this Harper just staring at me? Weirdly hot? She waited for a follow-up statement, but it never came. With Utshams, most goodbyes were awkward goodbyes. See you soon, Casa Sumatskuku, he said, smiling as he jogged down the stoop and faded back into the street traffic. Okay, safe travels then, Harper, she hollered. But he was already out of earshot. Casa closed the door and made a beeline straight back to her comfy chair, snacks, and new raven-filled nightlight. Safe travels. What am I, a flight attendant? Jesus H. Chrysanthemums, she said, suddenly missing his presence but settling for more snacks. That night, as she rubbed oil on her stomach before bed, she felt like a teen after a first date. Moving too fast had gotten her into this solo pregger situation in the first place, but the way he had said it, with a warm, familiar tone in his voice, had kick-started her expectations. See you soon, Casa Sumatskuku. Hours later, asleep, she found herself aloft in the sky, riding the back of a giant raven. Her arms were wrapped around her daughter, and she could feel the love and energy flowing between them as she squeezed her tight. Just as Casa tried to look down into the little girl's eyes, she woke up, her stomach growling. So, back in the living room again, she sat in the dim light and ate her ovals, grapes and olives, with frustrated chomps. Her appetite satisfied for the moment, she drifted off in the recliner, noticing the lingering, musky odor of the Utsham, a heady mix of rose, Palo Santo, and ten sweat. It made her smile. No, see you soon, John Harper. Just as Casa dropped back into sleep, awash in the warm glow of the incubator, she had one final thought. R, R, R. Ah, Craggs. Who are you, daughter? The beginning.